Hello friends, you're with a Lonesome Gamer, and today I'm gonna play Rome Incorporated. From Augustus to Diocletian, and that is a solitaire game by Philip Jelly. And it is basically a magazine game from the magazine Against the Odds. But this is the boxed version, for whatever it's worth. It is basically just kind of a counter tray with the rules inside, like this, and the map, and that's pretty. And then you got your counters here, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I was a little disappointed by that. I expected at least some kind of box or something and not just this counter tray, but okay, fine. So yeah, let's set up the game. And by the way, before we actually do the setup, this is not just the rules. This is the whole magazine, and there is a whole lot of read here about the Roman Empire, and written by the designer. A lot of stuff here, and 20 pages, even more. Then the actual rules start. They are about, I don't know, something like another 15 pages or something, and then there is more stuff about the Roman Empire. So there is more than just the rule book if you are interested in the history of the early emperors of Rome. Okay, so the setup of this is already pretty much a disaster. It's not really. There are three different scenarios. We're playing the first one. It starts at 27 BCE, and you can see here all this describes what to place where. So in every region it says, okay, this part is allied, this one is barbarian, this one has legions in it, and so on, and this has auxilia, and so on. So every fucking space, or most of the spaces, are specifically defined, and you have to find the right counter and place it in there. Here we have a couple of wars, and they're all different and not all used. Some of them stay here, and you got to find the right ones that go in there together with their leaders. Here it is done. It is there's some help everywhere. Here on the back there is the number of the scenario, and some of these have a different number, as you can see here, the 138 or the 222. So these are different scenarios, but these are all the same on the back side. So this is pretty painful to do. And anyways, let's take a closer look at the map. Now, as I said, first of all, we have a track here, and again, I have to say, these can be pretty painful. We track a couple of things here. Well, first the turn, which is this one here. Then we have here our prestige, which is at 25. We got our pay, our maintenance, which is at 79. At least that's what the rules say. And we got the unrest, which is at 4. They also tell us to track our money there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use some poker chips. I think that might help a little, because for me a track like this is pretty much a guarantee to get totally confused and to, I don't know, for example, keeping track of the maintenance. I don't know if I can remember that all the time, but we'll find out. And so next we have a map of the, well, let's say the Mediterranean area, or not, well, that's not true, obviously. It's more a map of Europe and North Africa and kind of the Near East over here. And the map is divided into different provinces, like for example Gallia or Hispania, Africa down there, or Pannonia, of course, Italia, and so on. And these provinces are again divided into, I don't know, kind of locations, right? Pise, Mediolanum, Sicilia, Corsica and Sardinia, and so on. And they are connected by different ways. You have your roads, which are these. There is no legend of a map here, which kind of sucks. But anyways, you got your roads. You got sea, which is, no, that's not true. This actually counts as a river, like all these here. These count as rivers. Then we got the mountains here. These are these dotted lines over here. And we got the sea. These are these dotted lines that go through the water. And then we have basically different types of provinces, and some of them may change. What's fixed are these homelands here. So every hostile tribe or every hostile race, whatever you want to call it, let's call them tribes, has a specific homeland. And you can see a specific shield symbol here. So that's where they start when they attack Rome. In addition, the different locations on the board have a specific status which shows their relation to Rome. So the worst is barbarian. Now these are these green ones with a sword, basically. All these here. And then the next is allied. Now this is a little better than barbarian. The next is then veteran allied. So these are quite good friends. Then we have insurgent, which are these with a kind of a fire symbol here. And for Rome, the best are the loyal Roman provinces, and these are the ones that have no marker at all in them. Now it is important to distinguish here. We have these, and that's hard to see, right? We have these allied markers here which show this kind of flag of Rome or whatever that is, and a double sign here. And then we have Roman provinces which contain legions. So there is no real marker that shows the status of the province, but there's a legion. And it looks a little similar than these, at least in color. So that's, if you just take a look from afar, it might get a little tricky here. By the way, because the setup was so bad, I didn't care about the number of the legion and in which location they are. If the setup said there is a legion there, I just took any legion. From what I understand, it doesn't really matter which legion is placed where. I think it's more of historical reasons. But in the end, these are just numbers and I don't know. It's painful enough to do a setup here. So, and that is also our first unit type. So we have the legions, and these are all these counters with Roman numbers up here. And then we have auxilia, and these are these here. You can see that here. They are here. And there's a stacking limit. You can have in every location, you can have up to, that's actually not true. In specific locations, you can have up to 4 legions and 2 auxilia. But you can only have those in loyal Roman locations or in insurgent locations. So we're not allowed to place them in allied locations. And I think not even in barbarian locations, or I'm pretty sure about that. I think we can only do it in insurgent locations. I'm going to have to check that. But I just played that once, and it was a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not totally sure about everything. Yeah, it's just insurgent in Roman provinces. Now the thing is that also in Italian provinces, legions are not allowed in there. Only the Praetorian Guards, auxilia, and fleets. And that's exactly the other 2 types of units. We have the Praetorian Guards, just 1 here, and we have fleets, a couple of them, and well, there are 2 Praetorian fleets here, and there is an Egyptian fleet right here, and then there are 2 more fleets in the barracks. The German and the Mercian fleets. There's also legion here and 8 auxilia. And they can be hired or built if we pay for them. Okay, so what else do we have? Well, I already mentioned the wars up here. We have statesmen here, and 2 of them are already in play. There is our emperor, which is Augustus, and there is Agrippa, our consul. And this is pretty much it, I guess. Okay, so what's the goal of the game? Well, we want to have prestige. We want to have a lot of prestige, pretty much as much as possible. I just wonder if there is any way. This is the victory phase. Yeah, there we go. So, for example, major victory would be more than 200 prestige. A draw is 100 to 149. Minor defeat is less than 100 prestige. So basically, we definitely want to go, if we want to win that, we need 150 prestige. And that is tracked here. And we're going to need that after 10 turns. Now, the game ends either after 10 turns, or we lose immediately if Rome is barbarian, or allied or veteran allied. So basically, if Rome is no longer a loyal Roman province or insurgent, then we will lose the game. If our treasury has less than 0 gold, or if our unrest is greater than 25. These are the losing conditions. Now, I want to make the game a little bit easier by subtracting, and that is an optional rule here, by subtracting 1 from the wars that come into play. Because this is the second time I play it, and the first time was actually pretty frustrating. So I decided to do that, and basically during the first scenario, you're supposed to draw 1 extra war from the war box, and so basically we simply will ignore that rule. Is that so? No, not quite actually. We subtract 1. So it's a little different here. No, we don't quite ignore the war, that extra war. We'll find out. So I guess we're ready to go now. And basically, this is a very sequential game. So we just go to the sequence of play 10 times, and then we're done, right? And we see here pretty much what we have to do. We see here the event phase. Remove event counters from the previous turn. Okay, fine. Place 1 extra conquest marker if Caesar has this special ability. Now let's take a look here and look. That is the case. Caesar does have the conquest ability, so that means we're going to place a marker here in that conquest event box. Then determine 1d6 events with an extra event for each statesman with the event special ability. So there is none of those. That means we're going to simply roll a die and see how many events we get. And we got 3 events here. And now, so let's mark that by placing 3 event markers here as a reminder. And now we're going to roll which event these are. And it is basically, we have a red D3 and a white D6. And then you can see the numbers here. So let's see what we got. The first one is, so that's a 5-3, okay? And a 5-3 seems to be Praetorians here. So let's take our first event marker and place that here. And second event is, now that is a 1-3, Barbarians, that's pretty bad I think. And the last one is, that is a 3-1, a conspiracy. Okay. So now let's see what the effect of these events is. The barbarians say 1 + 1 to each revolt 1d6 if connected to a homeland or barbarian province. Okay, so we got to remember that. And here we have annex a province. So that is something we can do right away. That's our conquest event. So let's annex a province. Basically, annexing means that you can improve the status by 1 step toward loyal Rome. So for example, you could make an allied province veteran allied, and a veteran allied province you could make insurgent. And actually I think this is, and you could make a barbarian province an allied province. That's already a tricky one. So I think what I want to do is, I think I want to make this a veteran ally. And yeah, we'll see if that's such a, I have not really a plan about that, but we do that. Then it says here conspiracy +1 to each assassination. Well, we don't have that right now. At the Praetorians, they give us +1 to unrest for each Praetorian guard. So that would be 1 + 1 unrest. But right now, of +1 to unrest 3d6, so for each roll, for each Praetorian guard. But right now that does not really happen. So we're done with the event phase at that point. It's just that single conquest event, which comes from the special ability of Augustus. And then we got to do a mortality check for basically every historical person here in the game. So we just have 2 right now. And if we roll a 6, the guy dies. And we don't want to lose these. This would be pretty bad, especially Augustus. Oh, I don't know if... I mean, they're both bad. We don't want to lose them. So let's roll for Augustus. And that is a 1. And the other guy, that is a 3. Okay, we're good. And then we make an assassination roll if Julian Emperor's is in the Emperor's box. Well, it isn't in the Emperor's box, so we don't make that roll right now. And make a support 2d6 for rebels, and then remove the loyal counters. Okay, there are no rebels right now in the game. These are specific leaders that we would have to check right now, and that's not going to happen. So we're already done with the event phase. Let's go into the treasury phase. First we have to check for taxes. So this is now obviously the phase where we get money, and only the loyal Roman provinces will pay us. And it is indicated here how much they pay. And if we control the whole area, or the whole province, then we would get, for example, 30. So this number here indicates what we get if every location would be controlled there, which makes it a little easier for us. In addition, we have to check now every province if it is doubled, if the income of that province is doubled, because if the governor of the province is a good one, he might get us more money, and it also depends on the emperor. So the way that works is every one of these statesmen, you can see that here, every one of these statesmen has 4 abilities. So the first one is military, the second one is administration, that one is, I think, popularity or something like that, and the last one is intrigue. Now these are the statesmen counters here. These are generic guys. So if we don't have a statesman in these specific spaces here, then we use these abilities here. For example, our governor of Gallia is no famous leader, it's just this guy here with these abilities. Now, what we do during the tax phase, we roll 2 dice for each province and subtract his administration value in addition to the administration value of our emperor. So in this case, for example, if we would roll for Italia, we could subtract 7, because this is a 5 here and this is a 2. And then if this is, let me see, if that is equal or less than 0, the province will double. All the locations will double. So here in Britannia we make nothing, right? Because there is no loyal Roman province. Here, these 2 would pay, because these are the loyal ones. So this is 5 and this is 4. So we would get 9 from Hispania, and these 2 here too. So 11, but we can roll. The Hispania guy, the governor has a 2, Caesar has a 7. So let's roll the 2 dice. Okay, that didn't work. That's a 1. 8 minus 7 is a 1. so it's not 0, which means we get 11 bucks from this province. And there we go. And we do that now for every province. For example, here, Gallia, same thing, 7. Fuck it. Okay, not lucky. That is a 3 and another 3 and a 4. So that means that's exactly 10 bucks. But, yeah. And this is the thing, right? This is also under our control, so it's a little hard to see sometimes because there are these guys. So actually it's 14 bucks. This one is insurgent, so we don't get that. But we get these. So that means this is 4, 7, 10, and 14 bucks. So Italia is the big one, right? If we're lucky, we get 60 bucks from that. That would be great. But we need a 7 or less. And we have it. That is a 3. So we get 60 bucks from Italia. So you can already see there's a lot of luck in this, right? I mean, we're talking about a lot of money here. Just from a roll of a die. But okay. Pannonia. There is not a single location here in Pannonia which is under our control. So we don't get anything there. Sorry, that was a die. So Mysia are these 3, 5, 10, 13. So the guy has only a value of 1, so we need a 6 or less, which we don't have. So we get 13 bucks. Let's see what it is with Pontica. We have 5 and 7. So that would be a 12. And this guy has a 3. So if we roll an 8 or less, which we have, we get double the value. So that was 5 and 7. So that is 12. And instead it's 24. Okay. Here, this is Syria, and we gotta see. Now I think we control this, and we control this. There are troops. So this is 4, 7, 10, 13. And let's see, we need again a 7 to double that. And we don't have that, so that gives us 13 bucks. We don't get anything for Egypt. That's not quite true. We have these 2 actually. So that's 5. The guy has a 3, so an 8. Yep, that gives us 10. And Libya here belongs to Africa. That's and this one here, that's also 5. So that's 8 overall. And that's a 5, so that's going to be enough. So we get 16 out of this. And I think we're done with the taxes. We started with 100 bucks and we're now sitting on 231. I think that's okay. Actually, I think it's pretty good. We were lucky here. And now we have to pay. And we have to pay our units. Not the one in the barracks, but all the ones out there. And our pay is 79. That's what the Treasury says. That's what this thing says. So that means we get back 21. Okay, great. And now we have to move the wars. Okay, so how does that work? Well, right now we have a single war in the game going on, This one here, there we go, the Cantabrian War. Okay, so that thing will now move, and it will follow a specific prioritization. Oh God. And we have that here. Wars move to a connected province using the following list of priorities, and so on. And depending on their naval strength, and you can see here, oops, this little number here on top, that 1, that is the naval strength of the war. That shows a war with 2 or 3 naval strength treats rivers or straits as roads, and a war with 2 naval strength treats seas as rivers, and a war with 3 naval strength treats seas as roads. Okay, that's not the case. This thing, they are not very good on water, so they don't want to go that way. Okay, so first of all, they're gonna move into an allied or a veteran allied or an insurgent or into a Roman province connected by a road. Look at that. We got 2 here, and that means we got to do it randomly. So on a 1, 2, 3, they're gonna go to Lusitania, and nope, they're gonna move here. They're gonna attack there. Now let's see. What does that mean? The question is, will they move on? That is what we have to determine here. And to check that, a war always moves if it starts or enters a homeland or a barbarian province. If it starts in or enters an allied, veteran, insurgent, or Roman province, make a pillage check. Okay, so that's what you got to do. So it started in a barbarian province. It started right here, and now it entered an insurgent province. Okay, so now we got to do that pillage check. And we go through these, again, through these charts. I'm not going to do that every time. I just want to give you an impression how that works, right? So there's no leader with them. The migration event is not there. It's an insurgent province, so that will give us a +1 on the check. And we have a legions and auxilia in there. So for each unit in there, we can subtract 1. And if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken, there are 6 units in there. So that means we got to add 1 and subtract 6. So overall it's a -5 modifier. And so we're going to roll on a d6, and if it's more than a 5, if it's equal or less than a 5, no, that's wrong. If it's equal or higher than 4, it will move. And we got a -5 modifier, so we don't have to roll. It is basically stopped by our troops there. And yeah, this is the end of the Move Wars action. And then we're going to draw 1d3 random counters from the Wars box, placing and moving them as they are drawn. And because this is the special scenario, or this is a special rule of this scenario, we're going to draw 1 additional counter. So let's see how many there are. Okay, that is very lucky. We are allowed to subtract 1, so it's because of the optional rule. Good question if a 0 is nothing. I guess, can it be less than 1? I don't think so. So I guess we're going to have to draw 1 plus 1 additional guy. So we're going to draw 1, and that is an Illyrian War. And we're going to place these guys here in their home areas, and we're going to draw another one. And that is a German war. And that goes here. Okay. Sweet. And now we're going to move these guys. And again, we're going to follow this chart here. Now this war here has a naval strength of 2. And that means it treats rivers as roads. And so they're going to try to move into a province, to a Roman province connected by a road. That is not the case. So we follow that. They're going to move to a homeland or barbarian province connected by a road. Because it treats rivers as roads, we got to roll again randomly. On a 1 to 3 it goes here, otherwise it goes there. Okay, so this guy moves down here to Germania Magna. And we've learned if they enter barbarian territory, they continue moving. So now they're going to enter one of these two because they want to go into a allied, veteran, allied, insurgent, or Roman province connected by a road. They're going to treat the rivers as roads. They're not going to go here because that's a mountain. So they're going to go either here or there. And again, we're going to roll. Okay, they're going to move down here, and I don't like that terribly much. Now the question is, will they move further? We have 2 units sitting here. And so we're going to have to follow the pillage chart. There's no pill leader, there's no migration, it's not an insurgent province, so we got a -2 modifier. And then they move if they roll a 4. Oh, fuck it. So that is a 6. So that means they will actually continue moving. And the question is now, where do they want to go? I guess in one of these 3 areas. And again, we have to roll a die. We start up here. Okay, so they move right here. And I guess we were lucky here because there's already someone sitting there. And this is it. It stops if it enters another allied, veteran allied, yeah. Okay, great. So they don't, basically what they do is they will only move one more time if they pillaged a province, basically. Okay, so let's see what happens here, the Illyrian War. And they're going to move either here or here, I guess. Oops. So that's 2. So that guy moves right here. And now they will, I guess, move into this one here, this allied province. And actually, I think these were the guys that become just veteran allies. So right away, they get punished by the barbarians. Allied, veteran, allied, insurgent, or Roman province connected by a road. And they will do that because they treat also rivers as roads. So they move right here. So the only question is, will they pillage? Or will they move on? And we got a insurgent province. This is a veteran allied province, so we got a -2 modifier here. Nope, they won't move. They don't have a 4, so they stay here in that province. And this is it. We did the Treasury Phase. And these war things was part of the Treasury Phase. So let's go in the Unrest Phase. We get +1 unrest for each rebel and war and each leader in a homeland province. Okay, so that means we get 3 unrest for the 3 wars. There we go. And then an unrest for each Praetorian icon in Rome in excess of its Praetorian guards. Now in this case, there's only 1 icon in Rome in this specific scenario. Legion icon in a Roman or insurgent province with no legion. Fleet icon in a Roman or insurgent province with no fleet. And grain icon in a barbarian, insurgent or rebel province. Okay. So let's see. I think with the legions we're also good. We have here a fleet icon with no fleet. So we're going to get 1 unrest for that. This doesn't count in that scenario. And I think I'm not sure about this one. I don't think that... Yeah, I think that one also does not count here, but I'm going to check that. And the grain icons in a barbarian, insurgent or rebel province. We have here 3 grain icons. So that gives us 3 more unrest. And here's another grain. Here is another grain. I think this is it. Oh, and here, but this is my own. This is fine. Okay. I think this is pretty much it. But I'm going to check with the fleets again. That's correct. So Africa only needs a fleet with the Antonine emperors, and actually it's written here. And Syria only with the Flavian emperors. So, what about this? Well, that is not in a... Let's see. In a Roman or insurgent eye. Okay, so that doesn't matter. Okay, then we're going to flip 1d3 random counters in the statesman box. Now I got a counter tray here, a dice tray. So we have 1. We take this guy, and that is Otto. Oops. There. And oops, like this. And he's good in events. And appoint the commanders except Caesar and rebels. So now we can choose, except for Caesar, this guy is fixed here. We can choose where to place them. And it kind of sucks that we only have 1 of these guys. It would have been better to have more for all the wars. So he's not good in fighting. He only has a 1 military ability. But maybe I can put him somewhere to bring up the for example, maybe here in Mercia, where there is only 1 of these administrative abilities, and he's got a 2, so maybe we get more money out of this province next time. Okay, so we'll set him here, and Now we can annex provinces unless Antoine Emperors is in the Emperor's box. Okay. Well, that is not the case. So we can now go for a specific province, but not one with a war in it. Okay, I think I want to annex Noricum. So this becomes now insurgent, and let me find a marker first for that. So the reason why I want to do that is because I can only bring troops into an area which is insurgent or loyal Roman, and only if I'm adjacent or in the same space as a war, then I can fight that war. So if I want to fight this war here, I need as many troops as possible. And because of the stacking limit, this is already filled. So I want another space from where I can fight the war. And that one here looks reasonable. Okay, so then we just decrease, and by the way, each time you annex a province, you may increase your prestige. So I think I didn't do it the first time, so it should be now at, yeah, great, at 27, I guess. There we go. It was at 25 before, so now it should be at 27. And then it says decrease prestige by 1d6 for each command with no insurgent or Roman province, except Britannia in the 27 scenario. While that is not the case, all of the commands have, so the commands is, for example, Pannonia and Gallia and Hispania. These are the commands, and they all have at least an insurgent province. Most of them also have a Roman province. I think all of them except Pannonia do. Britannia is a different beast. There is no insurgent or Roman province at all, but that's fine for now. Increase prestige by the combined administration abilities of the Caesar and the consul. Okay, that means we're talking about 9 here. Yeah, so that means prestige goes up 9 spaces. So it is now 27. That brings it to 36. Okay. Decrease unrest by the combined popularity abilities of the Caesar and consul. So popularity is this. This is 4 and another 4. So this goes down by 8. So it's at 11. So it is down at 3 right now. Okay, pay for bread and circuses. Well, I could pay $10 to decrease that even more. $10 for every step I want to bring it down, but I don't want to do that. Build and transfer units. Okay, so that's what we can do. We have a lot of units in here, and we have the cost here. So we have to pay for we have to pay 5 gold to build auxilia, and I'm seeing myself building a lot of these. We have to build to pay 10 golds for legion and 15 gold to build fleets, and that will cost now some money, because I think I might actually build most of this stuff in the barracks now, because I have to try to fight all these wars, and I want to make that with with a strong force. So I'm done with the transfer and the building. So basically I positioned now my troops for the upcoming war phase, and as announced, my barracks are empty. I built everything in here. The building cost for that I mentioned here, and I'm sitting now only on 58 bucks, but I hope it was worth it. And yeah, I kind of have now quite some forces around the wars here in this area here. I think that's Pannonia. What is that? I don't know what that is. Noricum, really. Noricum and Illyria, there are lots of forces, the maximum number each, to fight that war here, the Illyrian War. Then we got also some forces here that kind of surround that German war. We have forces here and here to fight this war, not quite as many though, but I think it's okay. And I also have a bunch of forces in the insurgent areas, hoping that they maybe will come to me, because that might happen now in the war phase. But first we gotta check for unrest. Now we gotta do an unrest roll. I think that's extremely unlikely, but there is an unrest chart here. And that's a 3d6 roll. And if we roll more than 25, there will be some kind of rebellion basically, and they will kill Augustus. But that is very unlikely. We have an unrest of 3, so that's +3. Each Praetorian Guard in play, or so that is +4 overall. But there is the Praetorians here, so we got to add another one. So it's +5. That's the event in play. Ah, yeah, that's already written here. Okay, so we got a +5. So we do a roll with 3d6. And if we roll a 20, yeah, that's not going to happen. If we roll a 20 or higher, then Caesar would have died. But that's not going to happen. Okay, fine. So we have no reason to make that unrest roll. We go into the war phase, and now that is a little bit fiddly. We got to do a revolt check for every allied, veteran allied, insurgent, and Roman province. So we got to roll 2 dice. Go through the revolt chart, and by the way, there were a couple of misprint in some of these charts. I think 1 or 2. So you have to download the erratine, and then got to print out the right chart, the one without the misprints. Okay. So let's see, we have now to go into the revolt or rebellion chart. Is that the one? No, that's not the one. The revolt chart. That's the one. And that is, yeah, as I said, that might be the most annoying thing of the game. But it's not as bad as it seems. In theory, you have to check for every little province here on the board. For every location, if they're going to do a revolt, you have to roll. But actually, you don't have to do that. The reason is that, a lot of them, a revolt is simply impossible because you cannot roll the result needed. So basically, let's go through one, let's say here, some kind of Roman province here, a loyal Roman province in the middle of the Roman Empire. And you're going to find out that there is actually not too much going on. We have a pillageability of a leader in the province, nope, no war, no homeland connected, no war connected by a road, no war in the province connected by desert, and so on. No leader in a connected homeland. That's also no insurgent province. Connected to a homeland or barbarian province, that is not the case. Legions, subtract again. Allied province or veteran allied, it's a 2. Each homeland or barbarian province connected to an insurgent Roman province with a fleet, nope. And that one also. So there is no modifier at all. And you gotta roll higher than 6. So that the province revolts. So it's not possible for a lot of the provinces because they simply get no modifiers at all. So we only have to check for provinces that get some of these modifiers to see if they will revolt or not. And a good indication is there a war in the province or adjacent? Is it adjacent to a barbarian province? And by the way, we also have to check all the allied provinces and the veteran allied provinces, not only the Roman ones, but really all the provinces except barbarian. That's it. And so as I said, we got to check, for example, insurgent provinces. We want to check provinces that have barbarians next to them, that have homelands next to them, that have wars in them or next to them. These are the indications where we got to do some checks. So let's start, for example, with this one here. This is Lusitania. Okay, let's see about that. So there's no leader, there's no war in the province, there is no homeland or barbarian, and there is actually a homeland or barbarian province connected by a road. We can see that here. So it's a +3 modifier. Okay. Nothing here. Nope. Nope. It's an insurgent province. So we got a +4 modifier. And it is because of the barbarian event which is in play right here. It's another one. So it's +5 modifier already. However, there are legions and auxilia in the province. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of them here. So that means we're down to a +1 modifier. And let's see what that is. Okay, there is no fleet there, there is no war there, and it's not allied or veteran. If I'm not mistaken, we have simply a +1 modifier. So as long as we don't roll a 6, we're good. Let's hope for the best here. Maybe that was a little too risky, but I hope we're good. Okay, that's a 4, so nothing happens. However, now that's pretty much it. We rolled a 4, so we are at a 5. That is not higher than a 6, so no danger here. Here it's a little more risky. So let's do that again. We have a war, which brings it to +3. There's a connection to a road, so it's a +6. That doesn't count though. It's insurgent, so it's +7. We have barbarians, so it's another +1, so it's +8. But then, each homeland or barbarian province connected by a river to an insurgent or Roman. Well, that does not apply. So I think we now have a +7, right? The war +3, the barbarian province next to it +3, and another one because it is... No, it's +8 actually because of that. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units in there. So that brings it down to +2. Okay, so let's hope we're good. As long as we roll a 1 to 4, we should be good. Oops, god damn it. And we are, lucky us. Okay, great, no revolt there. I'm gonna continue this now all over the map, everywhere where it's interesting. Here in all these border regions it could be interesting. Some have more than one barbarian area next to it and so on. We're gonna go through that everywhere, and then you will see the result, but I'm not going to do that on camera. I'm going to do that off camera. So we're nearly through with the revolts. We ended up with an insurgency here. This here, Pannonia Inferior, that turned rebellious. That stayed allied, which is pretty cool. Oh, actually, I think it went from... Well, that might have gone from veteran allied to normal allied. It looks like that. Yeah, where the war is going on there. This became insurgent. That is Syria. And this here went from insurgent to allied, so also not in our favor. And we had to retreat our troops, our auxiliaries that were in here. We had to move them back, and I moved them here into Alexandria because there is a chance, not a big one, but there is a chance that Alexandria could go. I don't know. We'll see. Let's roll. This is pretty much the last roll that I didn't do yet. So Alexandria has a modifier of -2 because of this barbarian province. Another +1 because the barbarian event is in play, and another +1 because of the insurgency. So +4, but we got 3 troops in there, so we can reduce these. So it's a +1 modifier, and that is, we're lucky here. Okay, so this is pretty much it then. And there is an option that actually a insurgent province could become a loyal Roman province if the roll is equal or lower than the military ability of the governor of the command. But that sadly did not happen anywhere. One of the reasons is that we used all these legions, moved them here to fight the wars, and we kind of brought them out of the provinces. So, yeah, okay. So we're done here, and it wasn't too bad overall. Okay, now we got to attack, or we may attack the wars. We're not forced to do so, but I want to. Now we got 3 wars going on. We start with this one here in Tarraconensis, and yeah, okay, so first of all we have to check if we can even beat this war, and each war has a naval strength, as you can see here, and you need a number of fleets connected to that war, or in the same space as the war is, or connected by a river or strait, if I'm not mistaken, to be even able to defeat this war. So in this case it's fine, we have a fleet here, And so let's do the attack there. So these are the modifiers here. We have a war's strength of 8. It's written here. There's no leader with the war. Each homeland or barbarian province occupied by the war or connected to it. Okay, there is a barbarian province right here. So that means they get a +2, a +1. So that brings them to 9. Each Imperial Cavalry, Praetorian Guard, Legion or Auxilia in the province occupied by the war, connected to its province. So we have these, 1, 2, these are 6, and then we got another 2, 3, 4 over here. So we got 10 there. And then the commander's military ability, which is in Hispania not so great. It's a 1. So I think we got a -2 modifier if I'm not wrong, but I'm not sure actually. Let's see, we have, so that was 2 plus this was 10. Yeah, the war has a +9 modifier, but a -11. So then that means overall it's a -2 modifier. So let's hope for the best. In general, gosh, that doesn't look good. A -2 modifier. I'm not even sure if I want to attack that war actually. This is pretty bad. Maybe I think I want to try it anyway. So let's roll. Let's see what happens. Okay, that is just good enough, I think. We rolled an 11, and I think we're super lucky with that, because that is exactly a 9, and that's what we need to get a so-called triumph. Now, if all 3 numbers would have been the same, we would have had a disaster. And if only the 2 white numbers would have matched, we would have had a stalemate, no matter what the other numbers show. But in this way it's a triumph, and that means, well, first of all, the war counter goes in the commander's box. That gives him quite a boost of popularity, I guess. We get gold to the treasury equal to the war's strength multiplied by the triumphing commander's administration ability. So we get 16 bucks. We increase our prestige and decrease the unrest by half the war's strength, rounded up. Okay, so this goes 4 up. Unrest goes to 0. We can promote 1 unit that we used to fight the war. Now, I'm not sure which one I would prefer. I think I'm going to promote, that's a good question. I think I'm going to promote a legion. So we just flip these guys, and now you see, instead of 1 shield, they show 2. And they count now as 2 legions, but not for the stacking limit. So you can subtract 2 basically when they now fight a war, which is awesome. we can annex a barbarian allied or veteran allied province, and another if the triumphing commander has the conquest special ability or the matching war ability, and another if Caesar has the conquest ability, and that is the case. Okay, but that thing has to be in here. So basically we can only take that one, Galicia, but we can do it twice. We can annex it twice. So we can annex it immediately to veteran ally. The first annex would be a standard ally, and the next one goes immediately to veteran ally. And that also gives us 2 prestige. For each annexation we get a prestige. Okay, so now I want to try to fight this one here, the German war, and that has a -3 modifier. So same thing, I definitely want to roll a no more than a 12 here. Oh, fuck it. And we rolled a 14. That means we have a draw. Allocate losses equal to the red die and promote 1 unit used to fight the war to veteran. Okay, so great. We have 6 losses here, which is really, really bad. So somewhere there is a losses chart here. Okay, we could choose here what to do, but we may only do everything twice. So I'm considering bringing my disgrace. I can do the disgrace as +2. Unrest, I think I can live with that. And I also want to lose 2 honor. That's fine for me. And then I'm gonna dismiss 2 auxilia, and they will go into the barracks box. And we can easily rebuild them, so that's not too bad. And they have to come, these have to be auxilia who fought the war, obviously. Okay, so we're done with this war. Oh, and we can actually promote a legion, so let's do that. This one goes to veteran. That's something. And now we have a last war, this one over here, and it's here. That's no good. We have 3 guys connected, so that is 6. You know what? I think I actually forgot with the modifier. Each allied province occupied by the war. This one here, but it doesn't change anything, sadly, because, yeah, that would have meant it would have been a modifier of -3, and then we would have ended up with a... Oh, wait a minute. Well, the fact that this is allied doesn't change anything. It doesn't help us at all. Now we gotta fight this one here. Now that has a base strength of 10. There are 3 barbarian provinces adjacent, so it's 13. However, it's sitting in an allied province, which brings it to 12. And then we got all these 1, 2, 3. I think we got 6 everywhere. So the modificate, so it's a 0 plus the -3 modifier of the governor. So the modifier is a -3. Wow, look at that. That's fantastic. So we managed to make a clear triumph here. So the governor gets that war. And then, let's see. Yeah. Okay, and then we have, wow, what can we do now? We can make one promotion. I'm thinking about promoting this to veteran allied. Should I? And maybe, yeah. Maybe this one to allied. I'm not sure though. But first I'm gonna get $5. No, that's not true. Let's see. Equal to the war strength multiplied by the administration ability. Well, that's not so great. This is a 10. Oh no, wait. Oh no, yeah, no, that's correct. It's a 10. And prestige 10. So this goes up here. And the unrest goes totally down. Okay, I just realized I also take losses when I have a triumph. So in both cases the red die showed a 1. It was here but also in Spain. So I'm gonna take 1 unrest everywhere. I guess that should be fine. And okay, so, but you know what, I think then I can actually, because this war decreased the unrest in Spain to 0, the triumph did that. And that's a little odd if you think about it, but yeah. But okay, so I think I'm at unrest 1 now, because basically I ended up with an unrest of 1 after this war, then I'm 1 here, I could reduce the unrest, and now I'm going to gain another one. Allocate losses equal to the red die. Yeah. Okay, so okay, cool. So that's it. I guess we're done with the war phase. And I think it went okay. I mean, that one is still here, which isn't great. But it seems we have it under control. I don't know if it will actually pillage or something, because there are a lot of troops around here. And I hope we will be able to fight it then next time, maybe with even more troops, and maybe we're lucky then. So yeah, we are through the war phase. Now there is a civil war check, but there is no rebel, so that's not gonna happen. But we gotta have to make a rebellion check for each governor who won a triumph. Now let's see what that means. Oh god, we gotta find the rebellion. Here we go. Okay. So we got the war counters in here, and the governor's popularity ability. Let's start with this guy here. He's got a popularity of 2. There is an unrest of 1, so that makes 3. Emperor's counter in the Emperor's box, nothing. If the rebellion event is in play, that is not the case, is it? No, that's not the case here. Each 2 veteran legions rounded up in the governor's command. I think that's only going to be 1, so that's a 4 then. Minus Caesar's ability, popularity, that's a 2. So that means we have a modifier of 2. I think that's not even possible. We cannot roll a 23 on 3 6-siders. So there's not going to be a rebellion here, and also not with the other guy. I think that's for sure. Yeah. Okay. So no rebellion, and then we go to the last phase, the victory phase. And we're not in turn 10, obviously. So we're now going to move here to turn 2. And that was the end of our first turn. And I forgot one thing, by the way. When you are transferring units, as long as you do the I told you that you have to pay for that. And this is written here. Pay or transfer legion, pay or transfer auxilia. As long as you do it within the same command, you don't have to pay anything. Just if you would, for example, move a legion from, I don't know, Egypt to Gallia or something like that. So if it goes to a different command, then you have to pay the transfer cost that is indicated here. Okay, cool. So we're done with the first turn. Gotta be honest, I'm not totally sure if I want to really go through 10 turns of this game. I'm not extremely hooked yet, and it can be a pretty frustrating experience. Until now it was okay, but yeah, I guess we'll see. As long as I enjoy it, I'm going to do it. If that should no longer be the case, I'm going to call it. Apart from that, I'm not going to go into so much detail every time. I mean, we went to the whole sequence of play this time. I'm probably not going to do that, just go to some key events, the wars, and that's mainly going to be it, I guess. Okay, so hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.